everyone, Jason from Makera here, and in this video we're looking at how to create a vector drilling path in the Makera CAM design program. Drilling paths can be used with holes such as these and drill bits on your CNC machine. To create a drilling path, we can create a new vector drilling path, which opens up the extended properties panel for vector drilling. We also need to make sure that we select at least one hole, and if you hold shift you can select multiple, and these holes need to be part of an imported vector design file or an imported Gerber file for a PCB. When we look at the cutting depth, we have two parameters to set. The first being where we're starting from, which is usually the surface of your material. That would be a height of 0 millimeters based on where the origin is set of your work coordinate system. The drill tip end depth is where the bottom of the hole will be, but again, this is the drill tip. So typically drill bits have a sharper tip that extrudes past the overall diameter, which means if I wanted this hole to go all the way through my material at its full diameter, I would need to go past the height of my stock. So if my stock is 5 millimeters, I might drill to 5.5 or 6 millimeters if I wanted that hole to pass all the way through. Or if I didn't want the hole to pass all the way through, perhaps I set this to be less than my stock thickness. For your offsets, you typically don't need to adjust these unless you're trying to avoid different clamps and things that you have set on your safe positions for your CNC machine. And then when we go to select our tool, we need to make sure that we are selecting drill bits. You can of course create holes through pocket operations with your different flutes and end mills, but to drill and use a drilling operation, you need to use a drill bit. The hole that you're drilling will be set by the diameter of your drill bit. So for example, if I were to select a 2.3 millimeter drill bit, I'll have a 2.3 millimeter hole. It's important to understand this because if you have in your design a 2 millimeter hole like this, but you select a 3.175 millimeter drill, this hole in practice and in the real world after machining will be the size of the drill, not the size of your designed file. This means that your design can just have simple center points rather than full holes, and then you can choose the appropriate bit. An important part of the drilling path that we don't typically see in our other paths after we set our feeds and speeds based on our material are our retract options. No retract will allow the drill bit to just drill straight through the material in a single sweep. Fixed Z height will allow the drill bit to drill and then retract to the Z height that you set, and relative retract distance is a distance that will be traveled each time a drilling operation is made. So for example, I can retract 1.5 millimeters after doing my step down distance of 0.2 millimeters. This creates a peck drilling operation, which is a great way to not only retain the sharpness of your tool, avoid breaking tools with harder materials, but also allow for chip evacuation and cooling. After pressing calculate, we can see that we have symbols drawn on all the holes that will be drilled for our drill processing path.